What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dark Souls 3 walkthrough. This time we're going to get things started in Undead Settlement. This will be a new area for us. It is a very large area. It will take multiple episodes to get through all of it. But we're going to go through all of it with a fine-toothed comb. Leave no stone unturned. Alright, so as we progress forward here, we'll encounter our first enemies pretty quickly here. The thing about these enemies is they stagger very easily. All you have to do is roll into them and you'll interrupt anything that they're trying to do to you. So for example, while she's trying to attack, just roll, interrupts their attack. You can roll into multiple at the same time, gives you an opening to hit. And so if you're in a dicey situation with a bunch of them surrounding you, it gives you a pretty good opportunity to try to control the situation. The first things first, we can knock this body down, and this gives us a small leather shield, which is actually a very important pickup. This is a small shield with the Parry skill, and I will point out that small shields actually have a larger parry window than medium shields. So you're going to get a few extra frames there to try to time your parries correctly, because I'll point out that our wooden shield also has parry. This is the shield that we started with. But the small leather shield is actually going to have a larger window than the wooden shield. So I'd recommend, if you want to do a lot of parries, to start with that shield, or to use that shield rather. And what I'm going to do now is kind of demonstrate the parry mechanic. I haven't really done that yet. Parrying is something that, as I've said before, is very high risk, high reward. It is a skill, can be learned. And I would recommend, if you're not good at parries, this is a very good spot to try to practice them. Reason being, you're right next to a bonfire. And so if you take damage from these enemies, you can easily rest and get your health back. So watch, right when their arm starts to move towards you is when you want to hit L2 for your parry. And then that leaves him wide open for a riposte. So this guy with the machete, his moveset mimics more akin to what you would see with an enemy with a sword, whereas the one with the pitchfork, kind of more like a spear type moveset. And so now we got him down and we're just alone with the machete guy. To show you some more parries here, just to help you kind of get a feel for what the timing is. Want him facing me. The thing about parries is a lot of enemies are susceptible to parries. A lot of these types of enemies that are a little weaker, but even when we get to face later in the game, Black Knights, Silver Knights, even some bosses are very susceptible to parries. And I'll try my best to point out when that is. It is very helpful. It'll be very helpful to you if you just spend 5, 10, 15 minutes practicing your parry timing. And it can help you in a great many situations in this game. So I do recommend practicing if your parries need some work. I'm going to go on and take them out and then rest, get my flasks back. So you do not need to parry to get through this game. In fact, I'm going to parry relatively minimally in this playthrough because I don't want to give people the impression that you have to parry everything to be good at the game. Not true at all. But it can help you in so many different situations, as I was saying. So I do recommend adding it to your toolkit as something that you can do and become proficient at. And it will help you enormously. All right, here we got some charcoal pine bundles. You can coat your arm or your weapon with that, rather. However, if your weapon is imbued like ours is with the deep axe, you cannot use resins to buff your weapon if your weapon is infused. So the sellsword twin blades you'd be able to infuse. The deep axe you're not going to be able to infuse, or to buff with a bundle, rather, I should say. We go over here, we can knock this body down with our axe, and we're gonna go down and collect that in just a bit. I'm gonna put my other shield back on for full damage reduction. If you see, this weapon, while good at parrying, is actually trash for defense, only 42% physical damage reduction. And these enemies that we're facing in here, it's a new enemy type. They're called thralls. They're all over the place in this level and certain other levels. They like to gang up on you. They like to ambush you. They're small, but can be dangerous. My favorite way to deal with them is just to block their attack and then let them bounce off the shield. And that gives me a perfect window to hit them. They are pesky little buggers. And they're charcoal pine bundles. And if you're familiar with Elden Ring, they remind me a lot of the Vulgar Militia or the Imp enemies in Elden Ring. Very much the same type of enemy. all over the place and kind of annoying, to be honest. All right, so we got a bunch of enemies around this bonfire. I'm going to pull up my bow just to kind of bring them over individually, so I'm not ganged up. Surrounded by a huge swarm of enemies all at once. Everybody trying to kill me at the same time. That's a bad situation to find yourself in. But honestly, I'm just killing them with the bow, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes, though, I get one shot, and then they'll just run right over to me. In this case, they're moving a little bit slower. These guys, I'll let them come to me. Can also use fire bombs. See these or the barrels rather with the kind of rope around it. Those barrels will explode. And here we got Loretta's bone. That's from the body that we knocked down from up there. And if you remember Grey Rat's dialogue, he wanted us to interact with Loretta. Well, we're gonna actually have to take that bone and give it back to him as part of this quest line. So we're gonna do that next time we go back to Firelink. And these guys, I'm gonna throw a firebomb. Maybe it'll hit all 3 of them. We'll see. Nope, just 2 of them. I'll take that. That'll work. Oh, he got a hit. That's fine. And the larger enemy over here, this is an evangelist. They have some very powerful attacks. There's several of them in this area. They are a strong enemy. My favorite way of dealing with them, though, is if you can bait this fire grab attack. It is super easy to roll through it and then get behind them for a backstab. It's actually my favorite way to get these enemies, is to bait that grab. They have projectiles that they're going to shoot at us. They can hit you with that hammer. They do quite a bit of damage. So you want to tread carefully. So here comes the fire grab again. Going to dodge through. You definitely don't want to get grabbed, but if you dodge through, super easy backstab. All right, so now we're going to collect our loot, since most of the enemies are taken care of. Got a soul item over there. Got a couple more enemies left. We'll take care of them, though. Back behind this bonfire, we've got an ember. Over here, we have an Estus shard. So honestly, if you want to go on back to Firelink, get your extra flask charge now and restart the level, perfectly reasonable to do that. I'm going to keep things moving here, so we're going to keep going. But if you want that extra flask, it's going to help because there's a ton of enemies in this level. So every bit of healing helps. You shoot down that body for kukris. Kukris are like throwing knives. You can use them in much the same way that I'm using the bow right now, just to try to force to pull enemies towards you and force those one-on-one encounters. Plus the kukris, I do believe, do bleed damage as well. We got a firebomb thrower. Has a surprisingly good arm. So I'm gonna get the roll in for the stagger. And so this path we're going is a bit tricky. There's a bunch of thralls over here. Some of them are going to be trying to shoot you from the rooftop with blow darts. So what I like to do, run this way. There's that guy on the roof who's going to try to shoot us. Take care of this one if you can, just really quickly. I did take a shot, and now I'm going to go over here, heal up real quick, and then I'm going to run straight down here. There's a couple more that are going to fight us. Took a shot getting that item. Now, if you want to line yourself up, roll down here. Be careful not to fall off the edge. It's much easier to fight these down here when you're not also being shot at with blow darts. Now he's gone back into blow dart mode, but now we can knock him off the edge. Okay, so see this kind of rock here is guarding us from those blow darts, which is very helpful. So now what I'm going to do is going to run over this way, avoid that guy's blow darts, go over the back of this roof. So the roof is kind of acting as a natural barrier. And sometimes, well, this guy is not cooperating at all. So we're just going to go down this way then. Got another blow dart shooter guy. On the side of this roof, we got some fire bombs. Go back over. This guy over here. This way we get a plank shield. Pretty trash. Not going to be using it. Now this looks like an enemy. It's actually an NPC, so don't attack it.
Another Nana disappeared. The ground and carries a cage. he ever has his cage. And Nana's never coming back. So come into the cage.
Okay, so he mentions a cage. He's not important at all, so if you accidentally kill him, not a big deal, but he does mention a cage. We're going to see what he's talking about in just a minute here. Now we're going to go up the ladder, take care of this thrall that's being annoying. Got an item over here we're going to pick up. Another couple homeward bones. We go over here and drop on this section right here. And there's going to be another bad looking dude. He's actually important. Do not hit him. He is important. He's going to help us. We can go up to his cage here and examine, and we're going to get transported. So this is the cage that the other NPC that we were referring, or the other NPC that we just talked to is referring to. We can actually hop in, and he's going to take us somewhere new. And this is actually for a trophy. So quite important to do because there's a covenant in this place that we're going to get to join. Okay, so now we are underground in this cavern. Got an item over here we're going to pick up. The War God wooden shield, and we'll talk to this NPC.
Well, what's up? This pit is for hollows, not for the likes of you sane folk. Or perhaps you are a hollow.
Indeed.
Yes, then we are just fine. It's important to know who you are, but we'll all be mad soon enough. Beware, the shackles of the gods are fragile. You might need this. Etch it on your heart if you feel your sanity slipping.
All right, so we get the trophy for the Mound Makers Covenant. We can now join the Mound Makers.
Come here to pile up your victims, for that will form your anchor. You'll see when you go mad. They'll be your family. You'll go mad one day, but not today. Take my advice. Use this bone.
He gives us a homeward bone.
This pit is for hollows, and for the occasion, you've better think.
But you'd think the only way to get out of here is to use the homeward bone. Actually, I just recommend quitting and reloading. You don't have to use a homeward bone to get out of here. Just quit and reload. There's no bonfire. You can't really warp unless you use a homeward bone, or you can just quit out. That'll work too. All right, we are back where we started. Saved ourselves a homeward bone. And this body here we can knock down. I will point out that if you're crafty and you knock it down and mash X, you can get the item while the body is falling down. I'm not going to do that just because it is kind of tricky to do, but I'm going to show you how to get the item kind of normally. So make sure you don't accidentally hit our friend here. And we're going to give this body a little whack here. Knock it down. And the thing is if you rest at a bonfire, you're fine. But if you warp anywhere, the body is going to reset there. So make sure, even if you warp back to Firelink Shrine or whatever, if you warp anywhere and come back, this body is going to reset here. So if you did not grab the item on its way down by mashing X, by doing that little trick I mentioned, you're going to have to go all the way around and do it without warping anywhere. So that being said, we're going to backtrack just a little bit here. By going around this way. Or wait, where's the way out of here? Ah, that's right. We just drop right here. Perfect. Okay. All the thralls are dead, which is good for us. And so now we're going to go through this little doorway here. And there is an enemy. Watch out. Another enemy. Got a soul item right there. And I believe there's a thrall in this room. Yep. This one's got the flamberge. It's a little bit stronger than the other thralls, so do mind yourself. He can also drop his flamberge. Okay, gonna open these doors. And to the right, you have the Caduceus round shield. This is a little bit of a secret. You go straight. These guys are going to throw fire bombs at you from up there. Not great. You can actually drop off of this bridge, though, onto this pathway down here, but beware. There are enemies, so you need to be careful. So drop here, and then immediately turn behind you for an enemy. Got a Titanite shard here. And another enemy right here. So I'm going to roll just to get that stagger. And in here, we have a bonfire. So I am going to rest at this bonfire to get my health and my Estus back. I am not going to warp here, however, because, as I said, warping will reset that body that we shot down. So now, I pointed out those firebomb throwing guys from before. We are actually going to be able to go up to where they were and attack them from behind. So we will not fall into their trap. Which is quite nice. Before we do that, up here, there's another body we can shoot down. Go ahead and shoot this. And we get the partisan. All right, so these are the guys throwing the fire bombs. Around here is another important NPC. This is Cornix. He is a Pyromancer.
Are we? Welcome to my abode. I am Cornix, an old Pyromancer. A crow in his cage, but here we are. I hear the unkindled make for fine vessels. Care to learn some pyromancies?
All right, asked to learn pyromancy. He'll go back to Firelink Shrine.
A chance encounter should not be squandered. To reiterate, I am Cornix of the Great Swamp. The pleasure is mine.
All right, and over here we get the hand axe. So from the rooftops, we're going to drop down. There's going to be an enemy that attacks us over here. A new type of enemy. Going to try to bash us with this, whatever he's holding. Get behind him. Hit him a couple times. He does have a bit of poise. Just watch out for that. Oh, got hit. And, oh, almost got hit again. There we go. Gave us some rubbish. Very nice of him. All right, over here for a soul item. And here, we're going to get a ring. The fire clutch ring. Going to up our fire defense if we equip. Or rather, no. Fire clutch ring, rather, increases our fire attack if we equip it. My bad. Yep, increases fire attack. But you read the whole description. But compromises damage absorption, so. A little bit of a trade-off there. But that's fine. Okay, so we can go down here. Sure we don't get ambushed by something waiting for us. Go all the way back here for a soul item. Something just fell. This area is a little bit interesting. sometimes this evangelist over here spawns in. Sometimes she doesn't spawn in. I don't know what the reason is for that. Sometimes I see her, sometimes I don't. I don't know why that is. But she's here this time. This dog. So this attack has a very long range. It can cause bleed buildup if it hits you. Give me your fire hug. There we go. I get invincibility frames during the backstab animation, which is very nice. Definitely helped out in that encounter. And one more guy up here. These wooden doors, you cannot open them yet. And by this tree over here where the dog was, we have an ember. And over here, against the right wall, we have a tunnel that we're going to go through. So we've got some dogs in here. Take out my shield, block. They hit me while my shield's up, they're going to bounce off. Whoop. Unless they try to bite me from behind. Freaking dogs. There we go. They don't ever cooperate with me. All right, so down here we're gonna have some rats, including one big rat. All right, we have a Castus, which is a fist weapon. And through the fog, we have our big rat, along with a couple of smaller ones as well. Gotta take out the smaller ones. All right, there we go. For killing the big rat, we get the blood bite ring. And this increases our bleed resistance. You'll notice there is a locked gate here. We'll have to come back for that later. But for now, there is a ladder that we can climb up. And this is a shortcut. So I mentioned at the beginning by that bonfire, there's a split. We took the right split. If you take the left split, it's going to shoot you out over here, and the gate will be locked from this side. So we just unlocked the gate from the other side, so that gave us a little bit of a shortcut. You'll see there's a crystal lizard up there. We'll take care of it later. For now, we're going to unlock this bonfire. And this is going to serve as our checkpoint for the time being. We'll rest, but we will not travel. We'll backtrack where we were before. And we'll see that side later, and we'll get to see how everything connects. So what I like to do on the way back is you can go down this way and then drop on this side, and you'll bypass the big rat and just run and go straight up the ladder. Oh, still got hit though. It's all good. And the evangelist spawned again. Sometimes, as I said, that evangelist spawns, sometimes not. Since we did rest of the bonfire, these enemies respawn. And you see we got a number of enemies over here. I like to lure them over one by one. If you rush in and take them on all at once, you're gonna have a bad time. These things throw the giant jars at you. And so if you have all of them aggroed to you at once, it is a huge mess. So one of them throwing jars at you, you can handle. Many of them throwing jars at you, not so much. Took out his big saw. You can get behind him. All right. On the bridge, we got another ember. Take on this enemy, and we got the other jar thrower coming at us now. Take out this guy first. Let the jar thrower come to us, or we'll come to it. The one off to the side is not gonna bother us for now. Him attack. Behind it. Oh, still got us kind of off to the side a little bit though. That's fine. All right, and now we're gonna get this last one. So what for this one? I'm going to, whoops, I'm gonna charge up, kind of sneak, and we'll do a charge attack on this one. Charge dart 2. There we go. Knocked him off. Did he survive? He did. Oh well. That's fine. But up here, we got a soul item. There's going to be a dog ambush around this corner, so watch out for that. Bounce off the shield. And again. Another dog. And we got some more alluring skulls. So now is where we finally get to pick up that item that we shot down earlier. Unless you were crafty and managed to pick it up when it was on its way down. This is where it lands. This is where we get the flame stone plate ring. This is the one that increases your flame defense. This is, I mentioned that for the fire clutch ring earlier. No, this is what I meant to say was for the flame stone plate ring. Our fire damage absorption increases. Very good ring. We'll probably be equipping it later. So you look up there, that's where we shot it down from. That's where the guy with the cage was. So we've come full circle. And now we can talk to the NPC over here.
Another one of those unkindled, are you? All you faceless undead, behaving as if you deserve respect. No matter. Heed my words. If you've any sense, you'll go find a coffin to huddle up inside. You here, in this land of hollows, if like the others, you're fool enough to play the champion, then go on ahead. You'll face death. And it won't be pretty. Enough death to leave you broken. Time after time. If like the others, you can go.
Okay. We'll be seeing more of him later as well. So now we'll just go straight through here. And we'll see someone who might look a little familiar to you. So pay attention to this elevator. And would you look at that? We have ourselves an onion bro. Let's have a chat.
Oh, pardon me, I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegward of Katarina. To be honest, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Have you ever walked near a white birch? Well, if I'm not mistaken, whoever it is, I'm sure I can talk some sense into them. But I have to find a way up. This lift only goes down, Well, that doesn't get me anywhere. This lift.
Okay, the lift only goes down, but you have to go up. This is actually a dual-sided lift. So if we trigger this, there's actually another one on the top that you can use to ride up, and he's going to find that out. That's kind of his little puzzle that we have to solve for him. We're going to go on and write it down. And he's going to realize, hey, he can ride the other side of it up. So once we go back up, he's going to ride it up. Before we go up, we're going to face a foe here who is a bit difficult, not going to lie. But I'm going to ember up for this, just get the extra health. But if we can get past him, there is a bonfire. And actually, this is probably against my better judgment. I'm going to try to just run past him to see if I can get the bonfire. Because that'll help you if you need to reattempt. So you don't have to run all the way back to him. So I'm going to pick up this ember here. And this is the enemy. He's quite quick. I'm going to go on and see if I can just open the door and get past him. Yes, we can. So this is the way to go. And this is actually going to be the next area that we go to after we finish the Undead Settlement, which we're not finished with yet. Go on and light this bonfire. And we're going to fight this guy. And this way, if you die to him, you got this bonfire right here. So you don't have to run all the way back to him. And this guy does not respawn. This is a one... it's basically a mini boss. It's a one spawn enemy. He will not come back once we kill him. And much like other large enemies in this game, if you get behind him, that's the best way to deal with them. We get the Irithel straight sword as our reward. So again, just wanted to show you that bonfire right behind him. In case you do die. He is a tough enemy. It'll save you a long trek. So now we're going to go back up and work with Siegward here. And that bonfire we just unlocked is going to come in handy later. So what we got to do is we got to send this elevator back down. And as Siegward realized, we can now take it up. And he mentioned being near a white tree and getting shot by giant arrows. We're going to find out a little bit more about that. And there is a reason why we're doing this in the order that we're doing this, and we're especially going to find out why in the next episode. Go all the way up here. You can talk to this giant. And you see he's got a nice stash of huge arrows. He's got a nice view of the land here. He can snipe stuff from his perch up here. Let's have a chat. Let's make peace.
I help anytime.
So he gives us a young white branch. So now he's our helper. If we check our inventory, we have this young white branch. Do not consume this item. You see here it has good friend, no hit in quotes. Do not use this item. Having this item in our inventory is what makes this guy friendly to us. He's going to help us out in a number of different spots throughout the early goings in this game. So make sure that you do not consume that item that we just picked up. It is important to have. So now we're going to ride this back down, and there's actually a drop-off point midway down the lift. That was too high up. So we'll have to redo that. Unfortunately, I wasted my ember, but hey, it is what it is. We got our bonfire down here anyway, so we don't have to run back very far. That was a really stupid mistake. Have to get those souls back too. All right, since the elevator's gone, I have to pull the lever. Here they are. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to wait to go down a little bit further before we drop. There we go. And our friend Siegward has figured out the puzzle.
Ah, oh, don't disappear like that. You had me downright worried. But thanks to you, an epiphany has struck me square in the head. I've unraveled the riddle of this inscrutable lift. On some days I begin to doubt myself. I went up the tower, so I thought. I'm not exactly sure what happened. Anyhow, do you see that? I'm no coward and I've a steady hand. How now? Think twice before you go. I could... No, I've got to you.
Okay, so you see that guy over there? The giant beast, we actually have to fight it. And when we go down there, Siegward's going to join us in the fight. Now, this is part of his quest line. You have to make sure he survives. He is quite tanky. He can survive a few hits, but it is also possible that he dies, and you want to make sure that he does not die. So we're going to go down, wait for his dialogue. He will join us. and we'll beat this giant fire demon. Actually, right now is a good time to equip our flame stone plate ring because this guy, as you can imagine, does fire damage. All right, here he comes.
Well, it's too late now.
We'll try to get behind him here.
I, Siegward of the Knights of Katarina,
Gonna let Siegward engage and take the brunt of this guy's hits. Siegward should take the aggro eventually. But as I said, make sure he does not die. So when he's facing Siegward, perfect opportunity to just wail on him. All right. And we are done. And Siegward is alive. Get a fire gem for our trouble. And Siegward is going to have himself a little nap.
That was quite a performance. But you mustn't get in over your head. We unkindled must put our duties first. But, for the moment, we've a toast to make.
All right, we get the Siegbrow, and we're going to save that for later. We can trade it in with the crows back at Firelink for something good.
To your valor, my sword, and our victory together. Long may the sun shine.
Make sure you keep talking to him. He will give us a gesture as well. We get the toast gesture. We need to get that for our gesture trophy.
Well, I'm going to have myself a little nap. The only thing to do, really, after a nice toast.
All right, make sure you talk to him again here, and then if you wait long enough, you'll get the sleep gesture. All right, Siegward's gonna have himself a nap. We'll have ourselves a little rest as well. And that's how we're gonna end things today. We'll see you guys next time. We'll pick back up right here. Take care, everybody.